Dear friends, we live in dangerous times, and we live in unpredictable times as well. If anyone had been told or had said 30 years ago, or 40 years ago, or even 25 years ago, that one of the central issues we would be discussing in socialist conferences and socialist meetings and oppositional rallies was Islam or religion, we would have laughed. It was unheard of that this would be a central issue. And one reason for that was that throughout the Cold War period of the last century, the imperialist countries, the United States and its European allies, essentially used Islam as a bulwark, or political Islam, as a bulwark against their enemies all over the world. And it's easy to forget that now, but we shouldn't forget that. Everywhere where the United States was fighting against secular nationalism in the Middle East, against communism in Indonesia, against rising progressive waves of radicalism in South Asia, Pakistan in particular, but not exclusively there, they would use very openly the political organizations which called themselves very proudly Islamist organizations to hammer the enemy. And of course, later, they used these organizations to fight the Jihad in Afghanistan against the Soviet Union, which had made a terrible mistake, sending its troops trying to shore up an unpopular regime. So one has to see the turn that has taken place in that context. What is Islamophobia? Islamophobia is something that has been artificially engendered, especially in the Western world, against what is regarded as the new enemy. There was no Islamophobia during the Cold War. On the contrary, the Islamophobia, therefore, which is engendered from the top in the Western world and reaches out to some people below, people who should know, some people who should know better, and others, like the extreme right, all over Europe, who utilize it as a weapon against new migrants and their families and their children and their culture. So there are different aspects to this Islamophobia, and it has to be confronted on many different levels. Let us first start with the so-called popular agitation against Muslims. This has very little, in my opinion, to do with an opposition to fundamentalism or Islamic terrorism or anything else, but has everything to do with a hostility to peoples of different cultures living together, and a hostility in particular to the new migrants who came to Europe after the Second World War and who now form between 14 to 18 million people in the European Union. That's the figure. Maybe it's a bit more than that. That's up to 20 million. And the arguments that have been used against them, or are being used against them, are very similar to the arguments that were used against the Jews in the 20s, 30s, and 40s of the last century, even prior to the First World War, or the Judeo-side of that period. And the arguments on that level, which were used against the Jews, were very simple and straightforward. They were not like us, went the argument. They came from a different culture, they had a different religion, they observed the Sabbath on a different day, they had a strange diet, they didn't eat pork, and they wore funny clothes, kaftans, they had longish hair, they wore funny hats, they spoke a different language. And if you think about it, very similar arguments are used in a broad sense against Muslims today. They are not like us, it's the other. They are part of a different civilization. They shouldn't be here. And one of the issues that comes up time and time again is terrorism. I mean, I was astonished to see how deep this had gone in an opinion poll in this country recently, when it was said that I think 51% of the people questioned. I mean, these polls are never reliable, but nonetheless they're not completely wrong either. Said that 51% of the people, when questioned, said that when they heard the word Muslim, the first thought that came into their mind was terrorist. And if opinion polls had been popular in the 20s and 30s, and people had been asked, they probably would have said, when we hear the word Jew, or when you ask us about Jew, the first word that comes into our mind is Bolshevik. Because the Jewish Bolshevik conspiracy was a common trope of the period used by the right-wing and European nationalists throughout the continent. Today, it's not Jewish Bolsheviks, it's Muslim terrorists. And those Jews who were not Bolsheviks were plutocrats. So they got it both ways. There were no ordinary Jews at all. They were either Bolsheviks or multi-millionaires. And often you hear that same type of argument against Muslims. Either they're rich Arab sheikhs gambling their country's wealth away in the casinos of Mayfair, which, by the way, is not totally untrue, or they are Muslim terrorists. In between them, there's a huge gap of ordinary people, some believers, some non-believers, who come from or of Muslim origins, some religious, some deeply religious, some mildly religious, some not religious, like every other community in the world. But they're being targeted. And this targeting then produces a counter-response. And this counter-response can take many forms. It can be a pride in one's identity. Many young women who put on the hijab do it for that reason. I mean, I've spoken with many of them. They're not even religious in many cases, but they do it because they're told they can't do it. In France particularly, that is the case. So, this popular semi-racism is very similar in many forms, in many ways, to anti-Semitism that we have already seen. And you know, one thing puzzles me. Given all the education that modern European and Western culture has received on what happened to the Jews during the Second World War, it's never ending. And the Israelis use it in a cynical way to get their own way in the world. But otherwise, it's something on which people are very well informed. In fact, in a culture in which history is by and large being relegated to the sidelines or virtually binned or taught in modules, the one thing people know about is the Second World War. And so deep does this thing go that some idiot politicians, not so long ago, in the 1990s, late 90s, early 21st century politicians, Tony Blair for one, actually I heard him say on television that the Second World War was a war fought to save the Jews. I mean, just the level of ignorance and cynicism that goes into that remark is quite horrific. I mean, no one asked him from the journalists present, well, if that's the case, we lost the war. Because you didn't succeed in saving them. You didn't, in fact, even send your bombers in to bomb one of the concentration camps in which Jews were being held, despite their requests that you do so. Because bombers couldn't be diverted from the main task, which was the destruction of Germany. You know, it was a war.